Grace and peace to you. I'm Todd Townsend, Bishop of Huron. As this video is being released, it is sundown at the end of Holy Saturday. It's the Vigil of Easter, and the first celebrations of Easter are beginning now, with new fire, light, exaltation, and the joy of Easter. Again this year, however, all of us, including me, are not able to be in the places we want to be, or be with all the people we want to be to celebrate Easter this year. We have online offerings, thanks be to God, and we have some of our loved ones gathered at the church and in our home to pray and celebrate with us. We're almost through this pandemic, but the third wave is still very dangerous. So we wait a bit longer and we remain vigilant a bit longer. Remaining vigilant is part of keeping vigil on this holy night and other times, to keep awake to all the danger and possibilities, to keep careful watch. Sometime in the darkness of this night leading into Sunday morning, Jesus was raised up from the dead, released from the grip of real death, liberated from the tomb. He had descended to the dead, our creeds proclaim, perhaps to deliver the good news to them first. He descended to the lower places, to the profound depths of the depths. And then he was raised up to life, never to die again. It was an empty tomb, an empty cave that did all the talking that morning. And the messengers who directed the disciples to turn towards this new presence were there. And of course, the first inclination in that confusing morning was to run away. The event did not make sense. They ran away quickly from the tomb, it says, with great fear and great joy. Terror and ecstasy had gripped them. The resurrection story is a narrative of shock and amazement and disorientation and joy. And one of the things that makes the story so believable is that it was unexpected. The disciples didn't come to the empty tomb and say, well, of course, there he is alive, just like he said. As Rowan Williams has preached about 10 years ago, they arrive at the tomb never having believed that the Lord really would return from death. And now they find themselves in a disturbing new world where anything is possible. And so bright is the light of this new morning that even the familiar face of Jesus becomes unrecognizable. But they were filled with joy when they saw Jesus among them. They'd been jolted out of the rut of what is usual and predictable, and joy springs on them without warning. What was it like, he asks, for those first few hours after the empty tomb had been found and Mary delivered her message? It must have been a period of alarming uncertainty, half hope, half terror. Which of us would really rejoice at the prospect of a miracle that would make us rethink most of what we had taken for granted in life? But into that chaos steps a figure before whose face the questions fade away and joy arrives irresistibly. The world is even more dangerous and strange than before. The future is now quite unimaginable. But there is nothing that can alter the sheer effect of that presence. And as St. John Chrysostom preached about 1620 years ago, hell took a body and discovered God. It took earth and encountered heaven. It took what it saw and was overcome by what it did not see. O death, where is thy sting? O hell, where is thy victory? Christ is risen, and you, O death, are annihilated. Christ is risen, and the evil ones are cast down. Christ is risen, and the angels rejoice. Christ is risen, and life is liberated. Christ is risen, and the tomb is emptied of its dead. For Christ, having risen from the dead, is become the first fruits of those who have fallen asleep. To him be glory and power forever and ever. Amen. Good news proclaimed and believed. Happy Easter.